In 1994, inside a California hospital emergency room, something terrifying happened. A woman came in weak, struggling to breathe. But within minutes, everyone around her began collapsing too. Doctors fainted. Nurses gasped for air. The emergency room turned into a nightmare. Her name was Gloria Ramirez, later called the Toxic Lady. And what happened that night has haunted scientists, doctors, and investigators for decades. This is one of the strangest real-life mysteries in modern medical history. Welcome to TruthTrove Stories. It was a cold February night in Riverside, California. 31-year-old Gloria Ramirez was rushed into the Riverside General Hospital around 8:15 p.m. She was suffering from advanced cervical cancer, but what happened next had nothing to do with her disease. As doctors and nurses tried to stabilize her, they noticed something bizarre. Her body was covered in an oily, shimmering layer. Her breath had a strange, sweet, almost garlic-like odor. Moments later, chaos erupted. Nurse Susan Kane drew blood from Gloria's arm and instantly smelled something foul. She felt dizzy. Her skin began to burn. Seconds later, she fainted to the floor. Another nurse, Julie Gerchinsky, stepped in, and then she too started shaking uncontrollably. One by one, their staff dropped, overcome by fumes that no one could explain. Within minutes, the entire ER had to be evacuated. Only a few doctors stayed behind in full protective gear trying to save Gloria's life. Despite their efforts, Gloria's heart stopped at 8:50 p.m. She was pronounced dead after 45 minutes of resuscitation attempts. But even after her death, the strangeness continued. Her body seemed to emit a gas, a toxic mist that caused nausea, headaches, and fainting. The coroner's staff refused to handle the body without full hazmat suits. What was happening to Gloria Ramirez? In total, 23 people were affected by exposure that night. 5 were hospitalized. One nurse, Julie, spent 2 weeks in intensive care due to severe respiratory problems. The hospital had to shut down its emergency department for hours. The mystery made headlines across America. Reporters called her the Toxic Woman of Riverside, but no one could explain how a dying woman could poison everyone around her. At first, investigators thought it might be mass hysteria, a psychological reaction caused by stress. But that theory fell apart quickly. Many victims had real, physical symptoms: nosebleeds, fainting, and chemical burns. Others believed Gloria had been exposed to industrial toxins, maybe through illegal drug use or environmental contact. But tests on her home, car, and neighborhood showed nothing unusual. So what was in her body? Months later, scientists found traces of a strange compound in her blood. Dimethylsulfone, a natural byproduct of the body's metabolism of sulfur. But under certain conditions, it can transform. When exposed to oxygen and electric shocks, like during defibrillation, dimethylsulfone can change into dimethyl sulfate, a deadly toxic gas. This could explain the burning, the fainting, and the chaos in the ER. But there was a problem. No one had ever seen this transformation happen inside a human body before. A team from Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory proposed that Gloria had been using dimethyl sulfoxide DMSO, a home remedy gel known for pain relief. Cancer patients sometimes used it, despite FDA warnings. When DMSO entered her system, combined with oxygen and the defibrillator shocks, it may have chemically transformed into dimethyl sulfate, releasing toxic fumes, effectively turning Gloria's body into a temporary chemical factory. It sounded unbelievable, but it fit the symptoms. Gloria's family refused to accept that explanation. They believed the hospital had mishandled her treatment and was covering up its mistakes. They claimed she was a victim of medical negligence, not chemistry. Her body was kept in sealed storage for nearly 2 months before autopsy. When her remains were finally examined, much of the tissue had decomposed, adding more questions than answers. The official cause of death was cardiac failure due to cancer, but the toxic reaction in the ER was never officially solved. If the DMSO theory was true, why hasn't it ever happened again? How could a simple over-the-counter compound turn lethal so suddenly? And why did only certain people, not everyone, collapse in the ER? No one knows for sure. Some believe the chemicals combined with hospital air. Others say something radioactive or biological was involved. Even today, scientists admit it's still a mystery. Gloria Ramirez was a mother, wife, and a fighter. She didn't set out to become a legend, but her story became one of the most chilling unsolved cases in modern medicine. To this day, she is remembered as the toxic woman of Riverside, a reminder of how little we truly understand about the human body and the strange chemistry of life and death. Thanks for watching TruthTrove Stories. If you want more true mysteries like this, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and share this story with someone who loves unsolved history.